Each day, thousands of tractor trailers make their way to border towns, including the Valley, but it could mean a bigger hazard than just a chipped windshield. This morning, we have Alex Begum with the Begum Law Group to tell us a little bit more about this. Alex, thanks so much for being here with us this morning.
Thank you for having me on.
So why don't you go ahead and tell us why so many tractor trailers come to places like the Valley?
Sure. So the Valley is really the top 3 in the entire country in terms of trucking traffic. And a lot of people ask, well, what does that mean for the Valley? What does that mean for the economy? What does that mean for other drivers on the road? Obviously, the heavier the trucks, we're all used to seeing potholes here in our community, and that's kind of a side issue, right? One of the reasons as to why there is so much traffic is because we're close to a border that has a tremendous amount of cross-border traffic in terms of commerce and industry. We also have a port of Brownsville, which means that all the shipping goods that come into the port of Brownsville have to get transported into the interior of the country. And so that's why there's really a higher number per capita of commercial trucks coming in through our community.
And this, of course, means that more accidents come across your desk as a result.
Correct. I mean, that's something that my office kind of focuses on, trucking accidents and trucking related fatalities many times, unfortunately. And it's simple, really, statistics. The more miles driven, the more by trucks, the more accidents, fatalities there will be in a community. And so in terms of percentages, our community is affected by large trailer, 18-wheeler accidents with higher percentages than the rest of the country.
And what kinds of accidents come into play?
So the most common one, obviously, is when you have a big rig, a commercial vehicle, an 18-wheeler, because the driver was not following the rules, as an example, where they're driving over the hours federally mandated by the government. Tractor trailer drivers have a lot of regulation in terms of the miles they can drive, the hours that they can drive, and unfortunately the industry as a whole promotes a violation of those hours, because the more miles that they drive, the more money that they get paid. And so what we see usually are trucking accidents that occur because of fatigue of the driver, or they're on some kind of stimulant of the driver, or because they weren't trained properly by the companies that hire them. There's a host of reasons, and really trucking accidents in our office are handled very differently than a regular accident, because truck drivers are really held to a higher standard of care when it comes to driving.
They're obviously professionals who know the rules of the road. If you're an average driver and you are in an accident, what are some steps that you should take towards, calling you, or what should you do immediately when you get out of your vehicle?
So the first thing, you need to do is make sure that you're okay, all right? Make sure that medically that you and your passengers are safe. The other thing is make sure that you document the accident. And what does that mean? That means always call the police. Make sure that they conduct a traffic investigation. If there was a witness close by, make sure that at the very least, if they don't want to stay and wait for the officer, at the very least get the name and number of the witness. The other thing is take pictures of the area, okay? Take pictures of the damages to your car, the damage to the 18-wheeler. And if there was any skid markings on the road, I know there may be a lot of adrenaline, there may be a lot of things going through your mind, but take pictures of that, because sometimes the truck driver will give a very different story of what happened than the individual. And you have a situation many times where the officer cannot identify who was at fault.
For more information, you can contact the Begum Law Group.